You know how you and I have been deeply frustrated by the lack of arrests, the lack of accountability that all the GOP and the DOJ and Pam Bondi and the rest of them have been doing has been issuing harsh letters, et cetera, et cetera. You guys aren't going to believe this. I think this is the most impactful, unbelievable discovery I've made thus far in the entire Epstein files release. Get a load of this. We have unequivocal evidence in the Epstein files that the FBI, this is on record, going on record, protecting former U.S. presidents, Secretary of State, and high-profile celebrities. I think a lot of us kind of had this, feeling, and I've been mentioning this. I thought the Bongino Patel interview where they said, everything's fine. Nothing happened. He unalived himself. There's nothing to see here, was very suspect. We have internal FBI discussions allegedly showing clear and specific guidance to redact images tied to former U.S. presidents. This is huge, y'all. A Secretary of State and major celebrities, not to protect victims, but to protect offenders. Millions of files released, powerful faces redacted. Check this out. That highlighted area right there is an email from the New York FBI to another intelligence unit within the intelligence community. A lot of redacted names here and there, but essentially here is the isolated email right here. Good morning, sir. BLUF IMD RIDS requests guidance redacting photographs. Who is protected under this transparency task? Why would anybody be protected? That's the whole goal and point of the transparency task. As mentioned before, we need guidance to redact 1B items. IMD RIDS is requesting clear and consistent guidance to process 1B items. There are several boxes that need to be processed, and the sooner they have clear and consistent guidance, the sooner they will start processing those. 1B items contain photographs of multiple individuals to include the subjects of this investigation, Epstein and Maxwell. Here's where it gets unreal. Need clear and specific guidance to redact those photographs. Some photographs depict victims, unknown, unidentified females and males, former U.S. presidents, Secretary of State, and other well-known celebrities. The software does not have facial recognition to assist with the identification of some public officials, well-known or not well-known celebrities. Please advise how you would like the team to move forward. Again, you can see at the very top of your screen all these redacted names, but you can see IMD FBI, CID FBI, NY FBI. This is all internal emails and memos essentially saying we need to protect these guys, protect the worst of society. Do you guys remember this specific undercover video that was discovered about Pam Bondi? Watch.
Epstein files are going to get released?
We hope soon. The FBI's been.
Okay.
So,
any dates?
No, you know what it is? There are tons and thousands of videos.
Yeah.
And it's all with little kids. So they have to go through every one.
So that was James O'Keefe going undercover and talking to Pam Bondi. That video was that was very long ago at the earlier part of the year. And Pam Bondi specifically stated, I don't know if you heard or not, there's tens of thousands of videos with minors, right? And we have to go through them. So where are those? Why did it take this long? What's going on? Why all you seem to do is write very important letters to these individuals, but we never see accountability. Why would you protect? The Constitution does not say protect serial predators. The Constitution says protect the victims, the people who are victims of these crimes. They are not afforded any protection. I don't care how big a celebrity, how important, whatever position they held. This is nonsense. Well, check this out too. This is absolutely insane. The DOJ quietly posted an 86-page Epstein co-conspirator file, then deleted it. It names the same inner circle that's been protected for over a decade. Virginia Guthrie's testimony, remember that was the woman who met with Savannah Guthrie in 2019 and blew the whole lid on this, and then somehow, against her own, admission that she was not depressed, she wasn't somebody who had those tendencies, somehow became unalived. Her testimony's in there, so are names like Maxwell, Brunel, Marchenkova, Kellen, Ross, Groff. It turns out the feds did investigate the network. They just didn't do anything about it. So, I mean, this is really, really important. This file contains interview summaries with alleged victims and individuals described as, quote, subjects of the investigation. Again, Ghislaine Maxwell, Jean-Luc Brunel, Nadia Marcinkova, Sarah Kellen, Adriana Ross, Leslie Groff. The document references allegations involving Epstein, Maxwell, Harvey Weinstein, Jean-Luc Brunel, Leon Black, Jess Staley, Prince Andrew, Glenn Dubin. It also includes an interview with counsel for Lex Wexner. According to two Wexner attorneys, Epstein was given sweeping control over Wexner's finances in the 1990s with little oversight. Epstein allegedly sold himself Wexner's New York apartment and private jet at steeply discounted prices. In 2007, Wexner concluded that Epstein had misappropriated several $100 million. Epstein agreed to repay $100 million in 2008, after which Wexner severed all ties. The document dedicates an entire section to an interview with Virginia Guthrie, who made many of the trafficking allegations involving Epstein and Maxwell, and claims she herself was trafficked to powerful men. Notably, the report states, quote, it bears noting that contrary to some news reports, these searches did not reveal any cameras in any of the bedrooms or massage rooms. A separate document includes a diagram that you see on your screen mapping Epstein's inner circle. The materials feature photographs and names of prominent individuals. Again, Maxwell, Darren Indike, who is Epstein's attorney, Richard Kahn is an accountant, Harry Beller is a financial advisor, Leslie Groff, longtime assistant, and then Jean-Luc Brunel, who unalived himself apparently in a French jail while facing serious charges. 5 individuals identified as Epstein's employees had their names and faces redacted. Taken together, the 86-page report and accompanying chart indicate that federal investigators were examining a broader network of potential co-conspirators, particularly Epstein's female employees who were alleged to have helped recruit underage females. These same women were widely reported as potential co-conspirators in 2019 following Epstein's arrest. Sarah Kellen, Leslie Groff, Adriana Ross, and Nadia Marcinkova were granted immunity in Epstein's controversial 2008 plea deal. In short, the potential co-conspirators identified in the DOJ's latest release of Epstein files appear to be the same individuals who've been publicly linked to Epstein's network since his original 2007 case. So what happened? Why weren't these people charged? Why did the DOJ and these intelligence communities, why did they let all of this go? But wait, it gets even worse. This is Epstein's driver. These are some photographs that came out. You can see that's Secretary of State John Kerry. There is Bill Clinton with Epstein's driver right there. Prince Andrew with Epstein's driver. And Chris Tucker right there. This is absolutely, just bewildering. The DOJ knew that Epstein was going to die. According to this official DOJ press release about his death is dated August 9th. But Epstein wasn't, quote unquote, found dead until August 10th. So what's going on right here? How could you release? Look at this. This is insane. So for me, immediate release, Friday, August 9th. Is that just an error? This is from the United States Attorney's Office, Southern District of New York. They issued a statement saying earlier this morning, the Manhattan Correctional Center confirmed that Jeffrey Epstein, who faced charges brought by this office, had been unresponsive in his cell. You guys, this is Friday, August 9th. This almost vindicates all the conspiracy theorists. What is going on here? And then look at this document right here, you guys. Why in the world was the Bureau of Prisons shredding documents after Epstein's death. A worker at the Manhattan jail where Epstein died said staff were, quote, shredding everything, end quote. Bags of paper were tossed straight into the dumpster. If that doesn't raise questions, I don't know what will, y'all. You can see right here, this is dated August 19th. I work at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York. I was working the rear gate when the gate pass inmate, named redacted name, brought back to the gate bays of shredded papers to throw out into the dumpster on Thursday and one bag on Friday. He stated that members of the BOP, probably the Bureau of Prisons, after action team that were investigating what happened with the Epstein unalivement, I can't say the S word, were shredding boxes of paperwork. They were shredding everything. Can we take a look at the dumpster ASAP to see if the paper is in there? Possibly they didn't dump it yet from the United States Southern District of New York. And if you think I'm done, you got another thing coming. Epstein's body, check out this document right here, was actually a wrapped up bundle of sheets and boxes. I have done 2, 3, 4 videos examining the entire tranche of dropped files versus the evidence versus all the questions versus the conspiracy theorists. I have done a bunch of videos saying that I think this guy is still alive, maybe even living in Tel Aviv under an alias with disguises, playing video games, God knows what. Read this document right here. In order to, quote, thwart the media, end quote, 3 officers created a fake Epstein body made of bed sheets and cardboard that was taken to the hospital for the media to follow after they left. Epstein's actual body was removed from the jail in a black SUV. Why in the world would they do that? And as if the DOJ and the FBI didn't look bad enough, how many of you guys remember this guy? If you're as old as I am, David Copperfield was the David Blaine of his era, if not bigger. This guy was larger than life himself. Well, check this out. Apparently, David Copperfield is in the Epstein files. And apparently in August of 2007, they opened an investigation. This is the document I found on Copperfield in relationship to his RAPE of a young female. The investigation showed that Copperfield trained his employees to identify young females. Oh, God, all my heroes are complete scum. I looked up to this guy when I was a kid. But look at the bottom paragraph. Our case was eventually closed because our USAO was weak and intimidated by the financial resources of Copperfield. So you see where I'm getting at with all of this, y'all? I mean, they were intimidated by the finance. I know the guy has money, but you're the United States government. You're the FBI. You're the Department of Justice. It is your absolute duty to go after these people and hold them accountable. It turns out, if I'm kind of connecting all these dots, remember pattern recognition, it turns out that our Department of Justice, our FBI, remember, I said this a long time ago. Who knows? Maybe you can't. Maybe I'm being too nice by saying this. Maybe you can't blame them. I said that this is one of those power trips. This is one of those moments. This is one of those cases where the power is so monstrous and so overwhelming, so influential. It's too big to fail almost. I know that sounds crazy to say that, but we've seen it before, right? That even Bongino, even Patel, even Bondi were afraid to touch it and afraid to expose them. Maybe they went after their families. I don't know. I'm seeing connections between this Savannah Guthrie mother's case, Nancy. She was the one who actually blew the lid by interviewing Virginia Guthrie back in 2019. So I don't know. This to me makes a lot of sense because we haven't seen any accountability, any investigations from this, any real arrests that we want to see of high profile individuals. I don't think the Clintons nothing's going to happen to the Clintons. I don't think anything's going to happen to Obama, sadly. And I feel like these documents just confirm that the deep state will forever be the deep state. And maybe even there's no way of touching these guys. Maybe this is the only group of people who can truly be deemed and identified as the untouchables. I hope to God I'm wrong. But this evidence, these files, it's very deflating to say the least. I can't wait to get your thoughts on this. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I can't wait to hear from you. If you're kind of coming into this and you're like, what in the world is going on? Check out this playlist right here. I have a huge playlist right here that will cover everything for you. Tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. Go click that right now. But you can also tap my face there to follow and subscribe. It's absolutely free. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.